8 foreign languages, everybody. And it is not just for the records of figures, she actually regular सिर्फ म्यूजिक गाते हुए एक जमाना आपके सामने चला आ रहा है. The people singer, everybody, please give the largest round of applause for the queen of Indian pop, Usha, everybody. I'll request Usha ji to please take the seat. या है रात, और अगर वो आपके सामने प्यार से डार्लिंग कह दे तो हम सब बेहोश भी हो सकते हैं, हम सब मदहोश भी हो सकते हैं, पर आज बातें कुछ अनकही सी ना रह जाएं, इसलिए भोपाल लिटरेचर एंड आर्ट फेस्टिवल 2024 में हमारे बीच मौजूद हैं द पीपल सिंगर, द आइकॉनिक, द क्वीन ऑफ इंडियन पॉप, उषा उत्तप जी. Please give a largest round of applause. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here.
Namaskaram, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum to all of you, and welcome to this magical evening. You've made it magical for me by the kind of welcome he gave me, and all of you did. There is nothing more that any artist would want in this life, and which is why I say, and he says that I'm a people's person. It's really true. If tonight, if this moment, everything were to finish, how happy and how humbled I would be, and how full of gratitude I would be. Because music is everything for me, and my audience is just one notch over that, over the music. And how did I get into music? Satya, what a long answer would you want for that? Because music is everything I've ever wanted in my life, never thinking that I wanted it, till Srishti Jha's father, Shri Vikas Kumar Jha, asked me all those amazing questions. I wasn't prepared for anything like that. और लोग कहते हैं कि जो पॉप सिंगर्स होते हैं या नाइट क्लब सिंगर्स होते हैं, उनके सिर्फ इंग्लिश में बुक्स लिखे जाते हैं. पता नहीं क्यों, language, it's a preconceived idea. But when he decided finally, after all the endless conversations that we had, he decided, or rather I asked him, how could this ever be an interview? And he said, well, we'll make it into a biography. And imagine a person who was singing, never know how much I love you, how much I care. Imagine someone like that being written about in Hindi. That is my biggest, what shall I say, achievement, or whatever you want to call it, blessing. I think blessing. क्योंकि लोग हमेशा सोचते हैं कि especially in the Hindi film industry, सोचते हैं कि अरे ये तो अंग्रेजी गाती है, क्या गाएगी हमारे लिए. And then एक से बढ़कर एक हिट हुए. वैसे तो खींच के हमारी सिर्फ, I have only about 1,000 songs I think altogether, when all the other singers, if there was any other singer, I hope there'll never be another singer over here. Yeah, but at least I'm honest, yeah. So if there were any other singers you interviewed, they have nothing less than 10,000, no? 40,000, 50,000 recordings, and I don't have all that much. But I have all of you. And I don't think that happens to every singer. After singing for 54 years, you got that wrong. You said 53, it's 54. And he said 16, it's 18 languages. And music has been the binding force. So after Shri Vikas Kumar Jha wrote this book, he called it Ullas Ki Nao. And I think that's all that I really want in life, is to bring happiness and a smile on everybody's face. That's it. Please don't cut off the mic, huh?
Okay, I got back. Usha ji.
Yeah, about music. So I was just coming to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So how did I get into music? quite by chance. Nothing was planned. I come from a very musical family. My father and mother, my grandparents, everybody were into music, whether it was Mozart, Beethoven, or Chopin, or listening to Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab, or listening to Bismillah Khan, or Kishori Amonkar and Dagar Brothers, and you name it, all musical. And then on the other hand, we had Radio Ceylon and BBC and Voice of America, where we listened to Frank Sinatra and Cliff Richard and Beatles and everything. So we were a very musical family. And funnily enough, I went to a, not funny, funny that from a South Indian traditional family, the two original singers, Indira and Uma, the Sami sisters, my two elder sisters, who were the original singing Sami sisters, and they did Western music only. And then, in that time, when, I mean, 54 years ago, you want to clap for that? 54 years of singing. My God, when I say it, I really feel I shock myself. In those days, there was nothing but the radio. Nothing. We didn't have any television or anything. So I didn't copy anybody. I just, yeah, you know what I mean. So it's not how good or how bad, but how original a singer. And I'm 100% original. किसी की copy नहीं की मैंने. And how could I copy? Because I never learned music in my life, not a note of music. Whatever I learned was through experience and being with you, as I always say, music is not my business, communication is. And I found that, even though my music teacher threw me out of class and she said, Usha, I can't fit you in anywhere because your voice is so deep and it's so husky and it's so this and it's so that. But she knew that I had music in me. So she made me a good percussion player. I'm a very good percussion player. I mean, tambourine and whatnot. But then I think music was in my blood, really. And I knew in every party or anything like that, everybody would say, please sing, and I would desperate to sing, and I would sing. I'm banging on the table and say, Meri Zahara Jabin, or I would sing, yeah, the song like, I don't know how this song came up to me. Got myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living doll. So that was a long, long time ago. And I had all these influences, all from Radio Salon and, of course, Vivid Bharati. So I was a mixture. I learned all the languages, and coming from a South Indian family, we spoke Tamil at home. Are there any South Indians here? One. Oh, plenty. Okay. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, 10. Okay. And sitting in the middle of Madhya Pradesh, it's really wonderful to know that we have people who will agree with me that finally it doesn't matter where you come from. जो कुछ भी हो जाए हम ये कहेंगे हम एक थे एक हैं एक हमेशा रहेंगे भारतीय, right? Hindustani. I'm just so happy and so lucky to know that we have so many different languages. So there I was singing in all different kind of languages because I heard it on the radio. And there used to be, I don't know if any of you, please don't feel bad to agree that you know that in 54 years ago, you also like the same song because some people are worried about the age, I'm not, because retro is where it's at. Everybody wants to listen to what it used to be. And everybody wants to listen to the old music one more time. Nobody wants just the new thing. So all these lovely children over here think that Madonna did Fever first, but I did Fever in 1969. Yo! How do you say that? Yo! So is the finger right? Now you've got some new things, no? Whatever. We didn't have anything like that. We just went up and sang, and that's all I knew how to sing. And so there were people who said that I sounded like Kishore Kumar, or I sounded like Mohammad Rafi or Mannada or Tom Jones or Jose Feliciano. Almost always people always thought that I sang men's songs, okay? But I think a song is a song is a song, and a song has no gender. Really. I mean, really, a man can sing any song and a woman can sing any song. Have you ever heard of a bhajan being sung only by a man or only by a woman? So why only in pop music was this thing about, or Indian music that only the good girls have to sing in their high voice, no, like Lataji Mangeshkar, and I got all the bad girls. And yeah, I mean, it's really strange because I'm such a good girl, as all of you can see. So music became part of me and an extension of whatever I stood for. And that was to be together with people, whoever it was, whether it was with one person in the audience, with my father or mother or whoever. It was always in my bloodstream. And I think the first time professionally I heard applause, it was like the biggest high in my life. Biggest. Much bigger than all of you know now about single malt and vodkas being mixed with this and that and shots. And I don't know what you'll talk about, but I'm on a natural high. I just need all of you in front of me, and whoa, there I am. So it's music that brought me here. And thank God for that. Thank God for the music. And thank God for the fact that I feel it's so pompous, no, to say the queen of Indian pop. Ugh. But I am so. So, which means I don't know what to say, because it's such a fantastic thing to say the queen of Indian pop, but it truly is, because there was nobody else when I started singing. Okay, and
No, don't take all my questions away now.
oh, you okay? Sorry, ma. Sorry.
I was going to ask you, because that's an amazing story, written beautifully by you, Shrishti, on your first performance. How did it happen in the club?
Aska.
No.
As this beautiful girl. Actually, for me, the thing is, it's so amazing to be written by somebody who is so young. Okay, so this kind of covers the fact that I'm a people singer, and that music has no age and no gender, no class, no color, no, I mean nothing, no sex, no age, nothing like that. And I just think it's so marvelous to be able to tell everybody that Srishti has written about me. I mean, look at her age and look how beautiful she is. Of course, it's not the thing that I'm much slimmer than she is, but yeah, but she writes marvelously. And do you want to talk about that, my first performance?
You had gone with your aunt Leela Nathan, and she was accompanying you because it's like your family wanted a guardian to go with you, and she started singing, and if I remember correctly, she was compared to a phoenix. Like when she started performing at Nine Gems, the entire environment had become, it was totally filled with her voice. Like I don't remember the exact sort of like words that as to like how my father described it or how I did, but I remember the term phoenix there, and she was just rising and rising and rising, and everything that evening became about that voice. And there's this young woman in her kanjivaram sari with her gajra, her bindi, her bangles, and it's like the end of her anchal tied to the mic. That's Usha ji's style, and she's just singing, and her eyes are closed, and she's just singing, and people are just getting overwhelmed, and they all are kind of comparing her to different ideas of what they find mesmerizing. So yeah, sort of like it was your first performance, and then your aunt was just looking at everybody. Maybe she was.
And the funny thing is that it was in Madras.
Yes, and yeah, she was like a phoenix that night. I mean, that's what I remember from the chapter that
That's such a
I
lovely
translated from the
word
original
to
work.
say.
So yeah, that is.
I was thinking, since language has no barriers, shall we conduct this in Tamil?
Of course, but they won't understand.
So no barriers, no?
No,
They'll
but
understand
neither
your
will you,
voice.
but I'll explain properly. Karunga, enna vannalum karunga.
No, I was just.
Why this Kolaveri demon?
I'd love to hear that from you.
Yeah, actually, sometimes, the strangest songs have the deepest meanings, really. And I don't think when Anirudh really wrote this, or when Dhanush really sang it, or the video became viral, I don't think they really realized. And I was the first one to pick it up, and I mean, as a performer, because everybody else thought it was such a silly song to sing, But I found that, you know, a song doesn't really always have to be so deep and, with a lot of cerebral stuff in it, because sometimes people are looking for something which you can just relate to, and just enjoy just for a little while. But this song turned out to be really, for me, every time I sing a song, even if I've sung it 3 million times before, like Kali Teri Guttu Te Paranda Tera Lalni, for me, every time I sing it, I have to reinvent, reconstruct, rediscover, figure out how I can bring something new to you. And when I sang Kolaveri Deep, both Dhanush and Anirudh both said that they never thought that someone like myself or any other singer would sing Kolaveri Deep. And somehow at that time there was a little bit of a problem that was going on in the country, small problem. And I kept saying, why this Kolaveridi? Kolaveri means the murdering mood, so much of violence. Why? When we come from a land of Bapuji and, Gandhiji, we talk about non-violence. So why this Kolaveri Day? Why this Kolaveri Day? Da? And it made so much sense when I spoke about it, and then I sang it. And there was some things in my mind. I feel that when you say it in that particular language, it no longer state, and everybody understood it. I mean, when I sing in Bengal or when I'm singing in Amritsar, in Punjab or wherever, people ask me for the D song. I mean, it's a different thing that I don't look like Dawood, but still, thank God for that. But they say, Didi, sing the D song. And so I sing the D song. And, such a non-loser song. If you feel that it's a loser song when they say this is just a soup song. I mean, it's a loser song. No, it's never going to happen to me, kind of thing. So the meaning always got through so well, and எனக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப பெருமை இந்த மாதிரி பாட்டெல்லாம் பாடினோம். Can I say that well? It means, yeah. It means that I'm really proud to say that, you have to get the right kind of meaning and be convinced yourself, and only then you could pass it on to anybody else. And Kolaveridi meant a lot to me. Besides
I
all
hope
the,
you'll sing it this evening.
I'm not sure I have the track, but I would have loved to sing it. Yeah.
But it's always, I'm sure the audience wants to know, what is a good South Indian girl who grew up in Bombay singing in a nightclub English songs in Calcutta? Now, this is like right across the country, across barriers. How did that happen?
Yes, actually, many people probably thought, what is this good? What is this South Indian girl doing in a Kanjivaram sari singing in a nightclub? But I think after a point, say after I've sung 3 or 4 songs in the evening, the first day, of course, I'm sure there are many people over here who've never heard me or don't know about me. That's okay. My name is Usha Uthup, and I've been born and brought up in Bombay, married into Kerala, now living in Kolkata, which made me feel very, very strong about the fact that truly borders mean nothing. Really, and with music, you can really get across very easily. And so I felt that when people uh, just accepted me the way I was, I think I was lucky. I think in 1969, it was truly only the uh, so-called Anglo-Indian who was singing in nightclubs with lovely dresses, or frocks as I would call it, their lovely black numbers showing cleavage and flesh, which I don't have much to show about. Flesh, yes, but no. Yeah. But it was, the whole atmosphere was different, and only men would go to the nightclubs in those days. And then there I came looking like the girl next door, scrubbed clean, and and all the girls in the audience all the ladies became my friends, and they still are my best friends. I think woman Shakti begins right there, when you can all stand together and say, yeah, we are together. And my advice, next line straight away, is to the women to say, don't fight about it. I mean, let the men think that they're making the decision. Make it slightly yourself. But no, but I think it was the timing, and all the women became my best friends. And so I had wonderful women in the audience as well who didn't think about the fact that only men came to nightclubs. And soon I became a family person, and they would bring their daughters, their sisters, and everybody. And nightclubs became a place where you just went for good music, or good food, or music and food together, and good drinks. It didn't become at that, like it used to be in those days, a bad place. Okay. And I never ever had a bad experience. Many people ask me, and many people want to know, and especially people who interview me, could be, is there anything that you struggled and you went through? It doesn't mean that I didn't have a hard time. Like any other working woman, I had plenty of hard times, but not to talk about, really. I think I'm quite very, very regular and a very normal person. And so I found that the people actually, the timing was so correct for me. I was really lucky. I was really lucky to have wonderful audiences everywhere. And I didn't have any sensational news to give people. So even today, when people ask me in interviews, and I struggle kaisa hua tha, and I say I don't make sensational copy. I can't say itna struggle hua meri zindagi mein. Hi hi. No, I'm not that kind of person. I like to tell everybody that it doesn't matter. You know, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. I think that means a lot, really. And that kind of spirit is what we really need. And don't focus, if you're looking for a lot of trouble, you can find it everywhere. And who doesn't have a problem? We all have problems in our life. And so music has been fantastic for me. And people never questioned me and asked me, like, if I may share with you and Hariharan, that fantastic singer, once when I asked him, how was your show in Pakistan? He said to me, and he told me in Tamil, he said, it was the first time that somebody said to me that how beautifully I sang in Urdu, and never referred to the fact that the next line, which normally comes, South Indian hote hue, आपने इतने अच्छे कैसे गाया? My answer for that is always South Indian हूँ मैं, इसीलिए मैंने इतने अच्छे गाया. So I think that is so important when you can overcome that, and ride over that. I think that's what it's all about. And it's really been wonderful for me when people have accepted me the way I am. And I never had to change for the sake of singing in a particular place that I have to wear feathers or I have to wear this or short dress. Imagine me in a short dress. But yeah, I mean, that's really sad. Thank God I don't. Because there's nothing as fantastic as a sari. You could cover so many kilos, yeah? So many. What to do? Not you. You're very thin. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, sari, 6 meters, you can just cover it all up. And especially as she said, the way I hold the sari, I hold it to that because. Yeah, but I'm sure many of you, because I've been to Bhopal before, and I've never said this before to all of you, but I have to share this with you. And the first time I sang in Madras, it was a fantastic show, really. And next morning, yeah, and South Indians, they're very, very discerning people. And they really know their music, Yeah, very discerning. So there was this elderly lady in a 9-yard sari with mukuti both sides, and with diamond studs in the ear. It's typical for any South Indian lady. Kamala Hassan was sitting next to her, and I was singing Fever. And she asked him, Iva enna paadin irukka? What is she singing? So he said, அவளுக்கு ஜுரம் வந்திருக்கான். Means she's got a little bit of fever. Okay? And so, when people start accepting you like this, it's just so beautiful, so wonderful. You overcome all these problems, which you never thought of as a problem at all. And I think that is what is so beautiful about having an audience like you here today. Really.
Going against the claim that Usha has just made, that she has had a boring life, a normal life, you still found enough to write. I mean, your father and you together have found enough to fill a fat book. So, what is your interpretation of her life?
A boring life. As a young girl, I don't think it's working. The mic is just. I mean, that book holds like it's a hold all of the entire universe that surrounds Usha ji, and it's like a few sort of like stories are coming to my mind that Usha Uthup as a little girl, she was a huge fan of Frank Sinatra. And Frank Sinatra, I hope everybody's familiar with who Frank Sinatra was. He was a universe in himself. So she wanted to, sort of like meet Frank Sinatra. And she was a little girl. She was like, okay, fine, how do I go about it? So Usha ji wrote a letter, a young little Usha wrote a letter to Frank Sinatra. Dear Mr. Sinatra, I'm Usha. I love music and I really love your music. I listen to your songs and I want to meet you. So I would love to meet you. I'm writing this letter. I hope it reaches you. And then she kind of folds the letter and she had a little pocket money. So she bought a lot of stamps from that pocket money, all kinds of stamps, because she thought, it's like the many stamps on the envelope, it's going to reach Mr. Sinatra. And the address on the envelope was, it's like Frank Sinatra, New York, America. And she posted it. And, she was just waiting that, okay, fine, one day I'll just hear. And this, sort of anecdote, when, like, especially women, like they found their ground. It's okay to be who you are. You have to embrace yourself. So it's very important to kind of acknowledge that. And she's given that to us. And a personality, an icon who's relevant across 5 generations. 5 generations. That's something. We still dance, like on Rambaho or Shan Se or, it's like Dam Maro Dam. So, yes, that's an enigma, and she hasn't had a boring life.
Well said, Shruti. Thank you. There you go.
Really, not boring at all. I'm just a regular person, and I can find I can find lots of happiness in lots of things that happen, like getting out of the airport and somebody came up to me and was staring at me like, I hope all of you can see I'm quite a comedian as well. If I don't get a job as a singer, somebody will call me up as a comedian or what do they call it today, stand-up comedians. I've been doing
About it. She could have done that, and she does it. And she does it. She said, if I wouldn't have pursued music, I could have been a stand up comedian. And you guys know better by now, like you've seen it. Yeah. So she can make you laugh in ways you can't even imagine.
Yes, especially this one. I mean, it's not that I think or I feel that everybody should know me or they know me. I'm the first person actually when I get introduced to you or something, you take my telephone number, I always say Usha Uthup at the end, or I'm Usha Uthup or hi, I'm Usha. Yeah, so this person at the airport kept looking and looking at me and saying, so I was all getting geared up. Wow, he's gonna say he loves me. He's been looking at me for so many years and he thinks I'm so fantastic. And I was waiting for him to say something really good about me. He looked at me, Shubha Mudgal. Now that's really funny because I can tell you something. She's such a dear friend of mine. I immediately phone her up because there are so many people who tell me that they've been listening to me since there may be about 90-year-old or 100 years old people who tell me that they heard me when they were in school. So that's really exciting, yeah? But there are so many people who come and tell me after a long time, मैं आपके सबसे बड़ा fan हूँ, आपका गाना है ना, आपके सावन कितना अच्छा गाना है. So before I used to clarify and say that's not my song, it's sung by Shubha Mudgal. So then I ring her up immediately and I say, Shubha, it's happened one more time. And somebody says, I'm Shubha Mudgal. So she said, don't worry. Yesterday after my concert, they came and told me that my Rambaho was the best song. So she and I share this. There's something about the General Assembly. We don't look like each other at all, but it's just the General Assembly, like like making a car or something like that. I don't know. And so there are lots of happy moments like this for me when people come up to me and say, if you understand Bengali, then some people come up to me after a long, I'm walking and I need a little bit of help, so I take the help, and then they look at me and they say, একটু বয়স হয়ে গেছে না which means, oh, you become a little old, isn't it? I get so I get so funny at that time. I said, boy, shoga tera baap. Yeah, well, yo. So when the youngsters look at my sneakers and the Kanjivaram, can you see my Kanjivaram sneaker? Whoa! Yeah, but I wear them because I have to be comfortable, right? And I just found that it made it so much easier to wear sneakers and walk and just dress them up a little bit. And then all the youngsters say, yo, she's so cool. How do you say cool? Cool. The spelling, by the way, is different for the cool that they say. And then look at me and say, oh, she's so swag. What?
OG.
OG. All these short forms. I mean, I just cannot believe it. I just cannot believe all the short forms that you guys use. For a long time, I thought somebody was, this is God's honest truth, that they were spelling BMW wrong by writing BTW. By the way, I didn't even know that. And what else do you all say? For your information. What are the other things?
FYI, EOD.
UD.
Even different type.
But remember, you means only Usha uthup. Okay? No mean nothing else. Yeah. So it's really exciting. And one of the things that, she wrote so beautifully. I mean, her father uses Hindi like it's jewelry, absolutely beautiful. And I grew up with Jamila and with the Pathan family, with the Muslims. And so I had that little filmy touch in me, put the dupatta over my head. I just loved that. Oh, I just loved it. And that's why I think I learned so much Hindi and so much Urdu from them. But the thing that I really enjoyed in life, really, I'm a very good cricketer, very good. But no, my brothers never allowed me to bat. They always made me stand next to them, and when they hit a nice ball, they would say, run. So I was their runner. And the thing is, I also flew wonderful kites, and they've written it beautifully about the way I made the best manja. I'd love for all of you to know how to make manja. I don't even know if you all fly kites anymore, because everybody's only flying planes these days. Well, to fly kites, you need good manja. And I really made good manja. And if any one of you wants to know the recipe, read the book. Then you'll get the recipe to make a really good manja.
Usha, not just manja. Clothes?
Clothes, yes. Oh my goodness. My father never gave me any pocket money. Those days, 2 rupees, 1 rupees, what's with them? Why did they give me so little, I wonder?
I got 50 paisa.
Okay. So, but we managed somehow. I think those days were different, as my children say. That was then and this is now. So don't bring in your history book. So I don't. But that's true, actually. We didn't have that kind of exposure, right? So I think making manja and making extra pocket money, always you had to earn it. My father never gave me 1 paisa extra. So I would polish his stars and the medals and things like that and earn the money. You learn the value of money very early in life, and that's what made it so important for me. And
And you're stitching. Talk
and
about it.
to answer your question about my stitching, I'm a very, very good seamstress. मैं बहुत अच्छी सिलाई करती हूँ, and I can make the best shalwars in the world that don't go but fall nice and straight. Yeah. So I learned how to make good shalwar kameezes, and I stitched and I sold frocks to Rajendra Kumar's daughter. Can you imagine? God, I would go from Baikala in a bus all the way to Bandra and sell a dress for maybe 40 or 80 rupees or something like that and make my extra pocket money from that. But I was very good at the sewing. But even now, their family remembers me and remembers the clothes that I made. And since I went to, I have to learn how to talk like the youngsters today. Every sentence of theirs begins with, so yeah. Have you noticed? Can I have a big hand for that from the elders? Yeah. So yeah. The sentence begins with so yeah. So yeah, I really did good clothes, and I made money out of that. And I realized that if you have to get anything extra, you must learn to.
Story in the book where it's like she had got like a new set of it's like how we as kids I mean get like stitched clothes for a festival and stuff. So yeah, her mother came home one day, and it's like what Usha ji had done was that it's like a new set of shalwar kameez or something. She just kind of like cut it into pieces, and she stitched like a garment for her dolls. And her mother was shocked out of her life. I was like, I've just gotten you these pairs. She's like, no, but I had to get my doll married, so I just kind of stitched it. Usha ji irons her own clothes till date. She really enjoys these things, like she's actually knitting. Like, it's like having such a busy life, but then taking time out to do these things for yourself, like a personal thing, ironing clothes and knitting and stitching. Yeah, she made me wear a cap, and I'm wearing it, and she's like, I've done it. And I'm like, where do you find the time to do these things? And she's on it. And you had to see the knitting, there were shades of lavender, lilac, that turning into pink, green. And I just kept looking at it, and I had the cap on. I was like, I just cannot have it. Like, it's too precious. But she always takes time out for, it's like we all complain about things. Oh, we don't have time. Like we need more than 24 hours in a day. She still finds time apart from all the traveling, performances, everything. But yeah, that's like the, it's like best example in front of you. You can just do it. You just have to take time out to do the things that you love. It can be a very ordinary thing, but you just have to find time to do it. So yeah, there you go.
So yeah.
Here's proving for my generation.
Correct.
Usha ji, there was that little whisper in my ear.
What was that like?
That is, if we have to give you time to sing, both of us need to get lost.
No, but why would I? I mean, is there any pabandi? Time की तो पाबंदी ही नहीं आज. इसके बाद कुछ हो रहा है क्या?
हाँ, आप गा रहे हो.
तो अगर even if you didn't, I'm so shameless, really. I get invited to do motivational speeches and everything, and I talk, and then people enjoy the talk, and then I tell them how to, get over the. I tell the young girls, don't cry over and don't read different lines into what your husband is saying, and start a fight. Don't do that. I'm talking to them and saying, why do women have to read in between the lines all the time? Most of our fights, I think all the ladies, we all know where the whole blueprint of a fight. Yes. You know that if you say something, that's going to happen, and then if there is that person going to say something, you're going to say something. So I learned very early. This is one incident I'd like to tell all of you. I was married, say, 5 days, and we had our first major fight. It was a wonderful fight, really. And I asked my husband, what's happened to us? We don't communicate. We're not even talking. Why are you angry with me? And then he put the newspaper down and he said, okay, talk. 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 So that's where it is. I mean, why do we have to read in lines, if the other partner feels that everything is just okay, you don't have to talk. You don't have to start a fight for that. You don't have to keep saying the same thing. Ladies, I want all of you to know that it's really quite a waste of time, because I got angry and sad and miserable for myself. I left the room, banged the door, and walked out of the house, and I walked around Auckland Square. Every 2 seconds, I was looking back to see whether he was coming or he wasn't. He never came. I did 2 rounds of Auckland Square, and I went back home quietly. So if you're going to go back home quietly and sleep with the same guy, then what's the point in fighting? Why so much time to fight when there's so little time to love? What do you say? Yeah. Yeah, lovely. Oh, men. I think
Tables have turned, the O has shifted.
yes, but I think it's really important and the time has come when we women really, we just have to take things in our hand. Just remember that we can spoil it all, really. We can make it so beautiful, but we can spoil it as well because say on the 15th anniversary, this is one of my, I know you're standing there, but it doesn't matter. 15th anniversary, I'm singing in Madras Taj Coromandel. This is a quick one actually because my husband doesn't talk. And everybody asks me, how do you know how do you remember everything that your husband talks? I said, because 54 years we've been married and he may have spoken about 100 words. So, if you can remember so many songs, then you can remember everything he said. But I do, and this is God's honest truth. I never bluff about Johnny because everything that I say about him is 100% true. If you ever saw a man outside and he talks the way I'm talking just now, you'll know this is Johnny, my husband. Yeah. So 15th anniversary, singing at Taj Coromandel, the whole audience is saying, fantastic, Usha, you're just brilliant. You come back home and he says, what about the coffee? Or what about the tea? And you know, he keeps you rooted, completely grounded, and you're just fantastic that way. So it was my anniversary, so I went to Thangamaligai and bought myself a thali, which I still wear. It's my own money. I bought it with my money, and I gave it to him and I said, please put it was on a haldi wala thread, you know, the manyakaira. And I said, please put it. He was lying in the bed and of course reading newspaper and BBC was on or some commentary was on, I don't know what. And I said, John, it's our anniversary, please put this around my neck. So he took like, you know, like a tennis or like a basketball. And that's the way he put it around my neck. I said, yeah, let's manao Suhagrat. And he said, don't be silly. So that's the story of our lives, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies especially. Don't read meanings into it. It's okay. I mean, I've survived 54 years, you will too. So don't worry about it. Just don't read meanings into something the other person doesn't mean. Men are from Mars. And we are from Venus. Behind every successful man is a woman, and behind every successful woman is a woman herself. That's all. That's all. So even if you didn't ask me to sing, I was going to sing. But before I sing, I want Rinta to come up over here and give me that bag wherever it is. I need to say something. A big thank you. Normally, you know, the guests where you go, I mean, they give you something. But I'm the person who's always giving something because I am so grateful to them and to all of you. It's got Ullaski now written on it.
ये चीज आवाज यार ऐसे भी
Thank you.
हाँ इंसान की बुद्धि लग रही है